Is the world on the edge of another economic storm? A full-blown trade war between the United States and China is now closer than ever. President Donald Trump has slapped massive tariffs, over 100% on Chinese imports, triggering fierce retaliation from Beijing. China has responded by hiking tariffs on American goods from 34% to 84%, declaring it will fight to the end, rather than bow to US pressure. But what does this escalating tension really mean for the global economy, for technology, and even for your wallet? Let's break it down. The numbers behind the clash. In 24, trade between the US and China totaled around $585 billion. But here's the catch. The US imported $440 billion worth of goods from China. China only imported $145 billion from the US. That left the US with a $295 billion trade deficit, a figure Trump has criticized repeatedly, although it's still a far cry from the $1 trillion he's recently claimed. This isn't new territory. Trump previously imposed steep tariffs during his first term, and his successor, President Joe Biden, maintained and even added to them. The result? Chinese imports now account for just 13% of total US imports, down from 21% in 2016. But did trade really shrink? Not quite. Many Chinese goods are now rerouted through Southeast Asia, countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam, avoiding tariffs by being assembled or finished there before being exported to the US. What's being traded? So, what exactly are these goods? From China to the US, the biggest exports include smartphones, 9% of all US imports from China, many made for Apple, electronics, toys, batteries, and computers. From the US to China, key exports include soybeans to feed China's 440 million pigs, petroleum, and pharmaceuticals. But all these goods are about to get a lot more expensive. For example, the 20% tariff on Chinese goods has now jumped to 104%, meaning some items may more than double in price. And China's retaliation means US exports will face similar cost hikes on the other end. Beyond tariffs, the hidden war. Tariffs aren't the only weapon in this fight. China dominates the supply chain for critical metals like lithium, copper, and rare earths, vital for tech, energy, and military industries. It's already placed restrictions on germanium and gallium used in thermal imaging and radar systems. The US, on the other hand, is tightening its technological chokehold, restricting China's access to advanced AI microchips that China still can't fully produce on its own. Trump's advisor, Peter Navarro, has even suggested that the US could pressure countries like Cambodia, Mexico, and Vietnam to limit their trade with China, or risk losing access to the American market. Global ripple effects. Now, here's the big question. How does this affect the rest of the world? Together, the US and China make up 43% of the global economy. If both giants slow down or slip into recession, everyone else suffers. Global investment declines. Supply chains get squeezed. Consumer prices rise. And there's another twist. China, already producing far more than it consumes, may start dumping cheap products, like steel, into other markets, if blocked by the US. That might sound good for consumers, but it could destroy local industries and kill jobs elsewhere. In the UK, for example, UK Steel has warned that excess Chinese steel could flood the market, undercutting local production. In conclusion, a new chapter in the US-China trade war has begun. And this time, the impact could be global, wide-reaching, and long-lasting. With technology, agriculture, and entire industries caught in the crossfire, the world is watching closely. Stay tuned, because this isn't just about tariffs. It's about power, politics, and the future of global trade.